Okay, let's do another example. You should try and pause this and graph this inequality yourself and then come back and check your answer. Okay, so there's many different ways that you could graph this inequality. The first thing I'm going to just remind myself though is it's a greater than or equal to, so remember that means we're going to need to graph this with a solid line, not a dashed line, because of that equal sign. So a solution is actually a point on the line, not just the shaded region. Now I'm going to go ahead and graph this using an equal sign, not an inequality sign. And now I could solve for y here, and that'd be totally fine, and use y equals mx plus b, but I'm actually going to find the intercepts to graph because it's just going to be pretty easy here. Remember the x-intercept, all that means is plug in 0 for y and solve for x. And when you plug in 0 for y, this whole term basically goes away, and you get x equals 6. So just remember, this is the point. X is 6, y is 0. Now I'm going to find the y-intercept doing the same thing, except in this case for the y-intercept you do the opposite. You plug in 0 for x and solve for y. So again, this x term basically goes away. You have 3y equals 6. Divide both sides by 3 and you get y equals 2. So this is the point. X is 0 and y is 2. So let's go ahead and graph. I'm going to count by ones here. So 0, 2. Let's label this 2. There's my point. And I'm going to count by ones going across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's 6, 0. And I'm going to try and put a straight line through here, going through both of these points best I can. And you do try and go as far out, let's see if I can go here, all the way across. So it's not perfect, but gives you an idea of the straight line that would go all the way across. You should use a straight edge when you're graphing. Put arrows at the end. And then remember, the last thing I need to do is test to see whether I'm shading above or below the line. What points make this inequality true? All the points above the line or all the points below the line? So again, this point, or this line does not go through the point 0, 0, so I'm going to test that point because it's easy. So I'm going to test 0, 0. And remember, this goes into the original inequality that we started with. So I'm going to plug in 0 for x and 0 for y. And this just becomes 0 plus 0, which is 0. Is 0 greater than or equal to 6? And that is false. 0 is not greater than 6. Since it's false, you're not going to shade where this point was. This was false, which means every point below the line is false. Oops. So we're going to shade on the opposite side. We're going to shade above the line. So just take your pencil and shade above the line. So that means every point above the line and any point on the line makes this inequality true.